I just want to dedicate this recording to my mom, the strongest woman that I know. Honestly, having 12 pregnancies, actually she had 13 pregnancies, and looking after everybody. She made sure that we were fed, we were always clean, going to school. We were always supported in everything that we do. We were taught what we are supposed to do as girls, and then the boys were also taught different roles at home. We were taught to work hard, and she never stopped giving. People used to come to our house for a lot of different things because she just was very charitable and supportive within her community, and looking after everybody and teaching us to just accept people as who they are and to love one another beyond what we had.
Welcome to yet another episode of Chiedza CheAfrica podcast. And for today, I'm joined by my old school teacher, and I'm so excited. I've got a young, as much as I'm saying my teacher, she's still very young, Miss Gumisai Mutamba, based in Australia. I just love her story. We're going to talk about family, we're going to look at social work, and we're going to understand her love. Gumi, is it okay for me to call you Gumi today? I'm so used to calling you Miss Mutamba.
I think today I'm okay for you to call me Gumi.
Thank you. As I was preparing for this, I was like, should I call her Gumi?
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, no, today I'm not going to punish you for that.
Thank you so much. Gumi, welcome to Chiedza CheAfrica podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I already love the name. When I saw it, I was, yes, the light. We always strive for the light.
Oh, thank you. And you're one of the lights in my life. So I'm so happy to have you as a guest.
I'm so glad you're saying that. And yeah, you guys, you've inspired me, Nyasha. And I'm so glad we've kept in touch over the years.
Lots of over 2 decades now, I'm sure.
Yeah. Because you left Umvukwes when? Do you remember when you left?
I think 99.
99. Yeah.
Or 2000, between somewhere there, yeah.
You gotta remember.
Gumi, let's dive in. Can you take me back to your childhood in Zimbabwe? What memories stand out most, from those early years?
I am a village girl, and I'm really very proud of that. I remember when I moved to Harare, we were called the SRBs, Nyasha. We were the strong rural background. And that label was an insult then, but now it's the pride, because that's where my resilience comes from. I am the 11th child out of 12. I've got 3 sisters and 8 brothers. And to be honest, when I was born, or when I can say, like, by the time I was growing up, a lot of my siblings have moved out of the home. So we always identify ourselves with our numbers. So I grew up, because I'm the 11th out of 12. So it's easier for people to kind of understand what I'm saying. So I could say I grew up with number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All the other ones were gone, number 12.
Wow.
But they were all in boarding school. They were like the number 7 and 8 were already in uni. So they were not home as much. So I could really say the one that I spent most of my childhood, my sibling, was number 10, then me, then number 12, number 10 and 12. But in saying that too, I had a lot of nephews and nieces. So I was always around kids. to be honest, I feel like that is where my journey of being the person that I am today stems from. Looking after my nieces and nephews. But I remember I never wanted to change nappies. Yeah. We used to walk 5 kilometers to school in the rain, in the cold, in the heat. You know how life, for people who can resonate with me and to the other girls who are in this circumstance, that's how I grew up.
Wow, wow. We
Yeah.
often hear those stories, but we don't see the people who actually walked those 5 kilometers a day. Wow. So 5 kilometers to school, 5 kilometers back home.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. You
And
had
we
to be
were,
really motivated then.
yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I could say we were running to school because we were always late. I don't know, because we didn't have alarms. We were always
Uh-huh.
late for school, but we
Wow,
always
wow.
had each other. I was with my nieces, I was with my nephews, and I was with my youngest brother.
Wow. I love how you were in a large family that surrounded you and all. So how did all this shape your values and your aspirations during your time in Zimbabwe? When you were in the village with your family, your nephews, your nieces, how did this shape you?
Appreciating the things that you have, education, love, being around a caring family. We didn't have much, but we were surrounded by love. We were surrounded by compassion. That's something that I grew up with. My dad was a teacher and always had people who were struggling, and they used to stay with us and go to school with us. We were not related to those kids, some of them, and we had also cousins that my father just took in, and we lived with them. So I was just surrounded by a big family, and that growing up with parents who were that caring and loving and compassionate, it helped me to be the person that I am. Just passion for helping others and
Mhm.
teaching, education inspired. I was so inspired by, because my dad was born in the 1929, he was born, and then women, we know how it is with culture. Women will not send school in some families, but my dad did not listen to that. Every one of my sisters, we went to school, and he used to talk about that I broke the odds. Like, I sent my girls to school, not only school, to boarding school.
Oh, I
In
love
those,
that. I
in
love that.
those, yeah, in those times.
Wow.
So
And
that,
I met you, sorry, I met you when you were a teacher. So
yes,
was it your dad who inspired you to be a teacher, to
it
take that
was
career path? Was he your mentor? Was he your
a,
guide? How
to
did
be
that come
to be
about?
honest, I have to be honest, Nyasha. I was never spoiled growing up. But when you're in the 11th out of 12, you don't realize how that birth order affects decision making. You don't make decisions. You just
Mm.
told you're gonna do this. Because coming from a big family, they were so connected with a lot of colleges and that, and so it was just like, you're going to a teachers college, you're going to Morgan's, the teachers college, and that is in Masvingo. But that's when I'm not rebellious, but I was like, I grew up in Masvingo. No, I need to move to Harare. So
I
I
need
did
to
not
see the
want.
light.
I did not want. I did not want. So I could say my father being a teacher and a lot of my siblings being a teacher, it was that career that profession that was just running our family, and most of us would just go teaching, and a lot of my siblings started their professional journey teaching.
Wow, wow.
Mm.
That's it. Yeah, because I had dad teacher and I was like,
Yes,
must
yes.
have been that. And how do you believe the challenges and joys of your Zimbabwean childhood have molded you into the person and professional you are today?
Appreciating the little things you have. going to school maybe with an old uniform that you have to watch. Maybe we had like one pair of shoes, one pair of socks, uh, little things, but that kept us going. And that didn't stop us from fighting for the things that we wanted, and that was looking to the future. We always fought to be, we always looked to the future. We looked up to our brothers who grew up like that, and my sisters who grew up like that, and they used to be like, we grew up like that. You have to go through that. The money that I have is not yours. So those were the lessons that I learned earlier in life. I used to go only to the city in the school holidays, and I could see my brothers. You know, the houses in Mebrain.
I remember.
Yeah, and I used to admire that because big shops, and my dream was always to, I'm gonna get there one day, and I'm gonna own my house. I'm gonna earn my money. I'm gonna have a lot of shoes, and I'm gonna have a lot of clothes. And I still am the same. I just love dressing up.
Oh, I remember. I remember when we were in primary school and there were ABBA shoes and you had your pair, if you remember. You were this. I know you came and I was like, oh, this new teacher, she's so stylish. You had the ABBA shoes, you had denim jeans, you used to just rock, and
I became
one of your friends, yes, you were the cool one, you know. And you were cool and you were assertive as well, which was good. So there were boundaries, like you just, which was really, really amazing. So now let's just go back. I just want to understand, you finished high school, then you went straight to teaching, or before you did something else, right?
Before, that's when they said, oh, you can go to Bondorf or Morgenstern because there are people we know there. There'll be a vacancy for you for your teacher training. And I was like, no, I am not going to be in Masvingo. This is the town that I grew up. But coming to for holidays in Harare, I just loved the lifestyle. I loved everything about it, than Masvingo being a small town. So I was like, no. And then, lucky enough, I was able to find a vacancy at Morgan's Intake. That's where I went to college for 4 years. I did my teacher training. And Umvukwes was my first school that I taught soon after college.
Amazing. Wow. And then afterwards, you kept on teaching, and then you got involved in like NGO work, if I'm not mistaken, which has always been your passion.
Being surrounded by kids a lot at being in the, remember I had my room in the girls' hostel?
Yes.
I think it felt like I had family, and I just wanted to keep teaching so that I'm surrounded by that age group because of the joy that I find in children. You know, the noise, I like it. Some people don't. I like it. I like the charts with different age groups. And I used to be very interested. I was very fascinated, Nyasha, with the behaviors of different children. I didn't know them, but I knew there was something why certain kids were behaving that way. I knew kids were very attached to me more than others.
Yes.
And I used to wonder what was the reason, but I kind of would observe that a bit of them didn't have a lot of visitors, like visiting weekends and stuff. So it was kind of the things that used to interest me. And also just the background. I used to be very fascinated. You know, I don't think people would see that teachers can be so fascinated by things and they don't really talk about it. Just looking at the other boarders who were coming from the village and those who were coming from town, and also those with rich parents, those who had parents in the diaspora. I used to be very fascinated about that. And the other thing that I was fascinated being around kids was twins. They were always fascinating me. When I had a class with twins, I was very fascinated. And I remember the two boys that were in my class. It was so fascinating to see how two kids that were born the same day behave so differently, perform so differently in class. So it was those kind of things that kind of grew from also seeing my nieces and nephews and being a teacher. So, and also I, being in the girls' boarding hostels, I was always thinking about issues with girls, role models for girls. And so when I moved to Bindura as a teacher, that's when I was involved with the Child Network. So we started girls empowerment clubs where girls had space to talk about anything they want. It could be periods, it could be careers, it could be family issues, social issues. So I was just so fascinated about those things.
Wow, that's amazing. And you've made a huge impact in those spaces, which is very admirable, because role models are really, really needed for girls. And
Yeah.
with period poverty and all, it's always better when they have someone to talk to, someone who can help out if there's maybe outreach events to help with sanitary towel drives, all that. So at least girls actually don't miss school, because it's, if you calculate how long they'll miss school in a year due to periods, it's really significant.
And it's nothing that we don't talk about, the pain and all that. And I remember even the other thing, that being around, like in the girls network clubs, I was always thinking about the careers for girls, like breaking into those industries that are meant for boys. Do plumbing, do mechanics, do electricals. And that is the other thing. I had to inspire my daughter to go into mechanics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I even like, I don't see you being a teacher. I don't see you sitting behind a desk. So that's how I was using it. And I'm so glad she is, not that
Pursuing
teaching
that.
and everything is bad, but we just want to break those barriers. We want our girls to be pilots. We want our girls to be plumbers. We want our girls, we just want more women to show that we can do those jobs that history has said they are just for boys.
That's true. That's true. I love that. And I guess when you relocated to Australia with your background teaching the Girls Network, it was easier to get involved on the social side of things, social care. Is it social care also that side?
It was kind of, Nyasha, but I don't want to lie. When I because I left teaching and then I was 2 years in the NGO and then came to Australia, I also wanted to teach again.
Yes.
And wanting to teach for me was more about having all the resources that I didn't have in Africa. When I used to take my kids to their schools here in Australia, I was just like, I would love to be in an environment where I can teach with enough resources, not where I used to struggle with, sometimes kids don't have pens, don't have pencils, don't have books. And also like the numbers. Remember, we used to teach 50 kids in a class. 45, it was just, Umvukwes wasn't like that, but the other schools I taught, we had so many kids. So I wanted to be in that environment where I can give the best support for every child in my class, because I felt I wasn't able to. Unfortunately, I could not teach in Australia because of the qualification thing. And I was glad that being someone who is always researching and looking at the things that I can and can't do, I was able to be linked by, I think it was kind of like a college where they had career advice. And they said, oh, so what were you doing? They were talking about it. And they said, oh, you were working in an NGO doing this and that. There's this option for you. You can do community services. So I started again from scratch. I did certificate 3, certificate 4, and diploma. And it was frustrating, Yasha. I am smart. Why do I need to do a certificate 3? And it was the whole thing. And they were like, oh, no, because teaching is different with this course you are doing. It made a lot of sense. And I'm glad I got that advice. So I went through that. And then I worked in a women's refuge I would, for people who are in Zimbabwe, like the services of Musasa project.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I worked. But here they are called crisis accommodation or refuge. So it was a refuge for women and children escaping domestic violence. But what happened was the EO saw my resume. She saw my CV. And she was like, oh, wow, you got a lot of experience and you are from a teaching background. We get a role here. We got a role. We need a child advocate.
Oh, wow.
Child advocate is just like, is a kind of like that role where you support the children that comes to the refuge. So with my role, with my past experience as a teacher and working at the Girl Child Network, working in trauma already, so I was the best candidate for them. So instead of doing my placement, I did my placement maybe for 2 months and I got the job. And I worked at the refuge for 13 years. Wow. During that, I was also studying part-time psychology. So I did my Bachelor of Arts in Psychology because it goes back again, Nyasha, to the behaviors.
That interests you.
Yes. I wanted to learn more about why people behave like this in social settings, why children from certain backgrounds behave like this. Why is birth order a factor in behavior? So I always had those questions. Why is it our backgrounds affect the way we think, the way we do things, the way we interact with people, the way it affects everything? So I needed some answers. I needed to know. So that's why I ended up studying psychology. And I studied children and families. I didn't do the major, I did the minor, but it helped me so much to understand a lot of the things that I understand now. Yeah.
Wow. So you are I'm picking up, you're very passionate about understanding young people, children.
Yes. But after graduation, I decided I just needed a 2-year break. Nyasha, it's been since 1999. I've worked with children.
So you need a break from children now.
Yeah. So I was like, I need to, what do you call it? Like whatever it is.
Re-strategize. Rejuvenate. Okay.
Yes. So I was like, it's okay to identify that. I am kind of burnt out. I'm kind of like, I've reached my limits. I have seen everything that I wanted in kids. I just wanted to take 2 years break and work with adults. Because when you are working with a child, Nyasha, you can't separate the child from the parent. So I was like, I need to work with parents. I need to work with adults, understanding why they behave like this and why is that, why is those behaviors affect kids. So I am working.
And how has that been?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge because you have to understand that it's different with children because they can be 8, 10, 18, 20, you know that age group. But then in adults, sometimes they have never talked about their struggles and they are 50, they are 60. It's different with kids. When you work with kids just say things.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep last night. My parents were fighting. Kids just talk about things. But with adults, you have to have those skills to ask the right questions so that they can disclose their struggles.
Wow. But I'm guessing it's getting to be full circle for you now. From children, now understanding some of those children that you have spoken, been with around when they were young, they now become adults. And those behaviors, you can see them over time, how they have maybe what they are now. And some may have changed, adapted to environment, worked on them, some get severe. And I guess you're getting that full stuff. I think you did the great thing, taking the break, realizing, I'm burnt out, let me now see the other side, adults and all.
Exactly.
Oh.
But
And you're still involved. You can go ahead, sorry.
I am still also involved. I think you got me. You read my
It was the next question.
So I've started my business as a personal coach for children. So I'm still working with children, but part-time.
Wow. And with this coaching, what do you do?
So in this business, it's supporting children who've got struggles with anxiety. We know with our society or the environment we're living now with social media, in that children struggle a lot with anxiety, confidence. Sometimes we just say, oh, they're shy. Sometimes it's not shy. They just have got so much. There is something behind the shyness. I also support children who families can affect, whatever the dynamics of families can affect children. It can be separation, parent separation, drugs and alcohol, parents' mental health. So I kind of support children in all those. Also, career advice is also one of my priority, working with children, encouraging them, even if they are boys, encouraging them to take certain careers, not to be scared, to try it out. And so I'm still involved in children.
That's amazing. And these sessions you have, are they online? Are they available worldwide, or do they have to be physical, face-to-face?
That is the dream, Yasha. I want to put it out there to the world so that it can be over the phone, videos, anything face-to-face. I am very passionate about supporting children's mental health, because the earlier we identify those needs, the earlier we identify those struggles, the more and better we raise children who are resilient, who are empowered, who are assertive, who can take anything.
I'm so happy you raised that, because the way we are so glued to our phones, it's really having a toll on young people. And it's because sometimes we forget social media is not real. And you start comparing yourself with what you're seeing, your peers. Maybe your peers are already married, they've got the great job, perfect house, and you can easily feel left out and feel as if you haven't done anything in life. But and the other things, like you're saying, mental health, family, and I'm really, really happy you're doing this, and it's a very good initiative. And I think these are some of the things that are needed, especially now as tech becomes so available. Almost everyone has a phone. I remember when we visited, when we did outreach programs in rural Africa, young people have phones.
Oh, wow. And what are they looking at the phones? What are they doing on the phones? We didn't grow up without phones. That age group, they need to be climbing trees, playing games, pada, going to the river, those kind of things. Not around, surfing the social media. It does not really. Yes, there is some positive from it, but we know that there is quite a lot of negatives when it comes to social media.
As well. Wow. Okay. I'll definitely sign up a few young people for a session on that.
Especially, I don't want to lie. Not that I'm going to be saying that I want to target Black girls, but I don't want to lie. My culture is very important to me.
Yes.
And my language is very important to me. I want to pass it on to our young kids, and it could be boys or girls. Because when we don't pass the language, we don't pass the culture. Our culture is very vibrant, it's very rich. And we need to pass it on to our kids so that we don't want it to die, because we know the movement. And I'm worried that my kids are not going to pass that language and culture to their kids, because they are losing the language.
That's true. Yeah. Wow. And for young girls in Zimbabwe or elsewhere aiming to break into challenging careers, what empowering message can you offer them to help succeed?
They need to be connected with people like you, Nyasha. There are women out there in Zim that needs to be out there to be seen, so that they can also empower. They need to speak to young girls. People need to go in rural areas and talk to the girls about their careers, because the thing is, people who in the rural areas, Nyasha, they miss out. They miss out. They don't see those people like you. We need more women who go out there, who are in those careers, mechanics, electricals, to go in those isolated areas and talk to these girls and empower them. Because a lot of them, sometimes they give up.
Yes,
Because
yes,
they don't see that image. We were lucky, like when we started, I grew up with a family that was well educated. I was exposed to the things that some of my peers didn't have. And where are they now? Some of them didn't go anywhere because they did not see anything that could inspire them. Because
Yeah.
if we are
And
from a family that's not educated, it's hard to get
yes,
that support. We need role models to go out there, even footballers, even sports people. We need them to
yes,
go out there. Even those in politics who are women, we need them out there, because it's encouraging everyone or girls to take those profession or those roles that are normally, we know the percentage is it. The percentage
yes, yes,
normally
yes.
is just men, and we want to break that. Let's have you,
Yes.
Nyasha, out there talking to girls at your pilot. They would love that.
Yeah, thank you for that. We'll definitely get working because, like you're saying, you witnessed poverty firsthand,
Yes.
growing up,
Mm-hmm.
seeing your community. You were able
Mm.
to actually see, and I'm
Yes.
sure now, even when you go back to to your homestead, you can
Mm.
see others who didn't make it out.
Yeah, because they didn't have that, those role models, they didn't have that support. And because when you are coming from that family where there is no one who has made it maybe to O level, I don't think, it's hard to get that inspiration. And I still have neighbors back in Zim that are in my rural area, which are wouldn't go anywhere because they didn't have those role models.
Yeah, role models are very important.
And
We
it
often
is,
don't realize.
yeah, and it is important to start in primary school. Let's have people going into primary places and talk to communities that are really isolated and they don't see people who've made it, people who were in those circumstances like they are in. So when I go to Zim in September, I'm going to my primary school. I'm going to take a lot of pictures and videos,
Please do, please
and
do.
share them. And I will try and see if I can give a speech on the assembly. That would be my dream, just to
Oh.
encourage other girls. Yeah, you know how it is. They need that.
Mhm, mhm.
Mm.
And looking back on your journey, what key lessons from your life would you share with the next generation to inspire their own paths forward?
Listen to the adults.
Okay.
Listen to. I know that we say they are old schools, but those experiences have shaped who they are. They've survived. They are very resilient. They survived the West, and these are the best people to listen to. The advice they give us is real, and we need to listen to them. Also, education. Pursue your dream. Go to school no matter what circumstance you are in. You are on an empty stomach, go to school. It's a long distance, go to school. It's hot, it's cold, I've done that. You should also do that.
Wow. Gumi, I'll say Gumi again because today's the only day I can say Gumi. Thank you so much for this for this enlightening session. I've really enjoyed myself. I've learned a lot. And I'm so proud of all that you're doing. I continue just looking up to you. You paved the way for a lot of us. And I'm looking forward to this new path you've taken. And I hope more youth will actually access resources that you provide in terms of mental health, that teen, preteen coaching, especially in this day and age, really needs to be incorporated in the school curriculum itself, because mental health is real. But thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. You have a good day. Thank you so much.
You too, Gumi. Thank you.
Bye.